All right, so I'm working with a new sort of system this evening. I got my audio set up a little different today. My man Carlos gave me a link to a microphone that goes along with this thing. It's a nice little setup. So if somebody hops on, as soon as you can, please let me know whether or not you can hear me, how clearly you can hear me, and all that good stuff. Maybe, let me see. Let me try to fix that. Okay. So I was on the panel last night. You've been exposed, discussing some of the things that are wrong with the globe. About how people have abandoned most of their five senses, and how the masses are so easy to be convinced. Anyway, oh hey Kayla, glad you could make it. Just hanging out tonight. I'm looking to have a little bit of fun. Man, the shirt's wrinkled. Just pulled it out the joint over here. You know, this is one of the ones I don't wear a whole lot. Got the new logo and all. I don't have an iron in here, so. Hey Ted, what's going on, man? I should have actually called you this weekend. I was out up north. Anyway, my bad. Just got off work. That's what's up. All right. So look. Thank you, Caleb. But it's still wrinkled. Anyway, we're good. So here's the thing. Uchi. Thank you very much. All right, so it wasn't me. I was on the panel last night with Big Dread and the crew, and we were just going over some things, talking about, hey, Miss Griffin, we were talking about some inconsistencies with that globe, and you know, we had an idea. They lie about everything. What's up? Had an idea for a new hashtag, you know, because we were getting into it, some of the things that just do not make sense, but these things that they base this whole globe model off of, it does jive with reality. Where before we get started, can you hear me properly? Is everything working just fine? Because I got the mic hooked up. I'm saying it's not that complicated, but can you hear me? Are we good? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, if the volume is all right. Okay, thank you very much. Caleb, thank you. All right, so look, we were looking at some of the things that were all messed up about this daggone globe model. And we just got into this groove where we were just clowning one thing after another. And I would just chime in at the end of these cats saying what they say, and I'd just be like, and they believe it. And they believe this crap. Like, some of this stuff is so unbelievable. And I mean, seeing things the way that we do, it's like that movie They Live, when they put the glasses on and we can finally see reality for what it really is. But seeing these things, these inconsistencies, man, let's talk about some of these things. What's up, Skinny? Okay, so what we deal with is that these globe believers, they like to come after us and call us all kinds of names, insulting our intelligence for being people who just, you know, tend to look at things for what they are, what they truly are. You know, we recognize that we're all walking on a level surface at a 90-degree angle. You know, I'm in Washington State, and according to the globe model, which is tilted at 23.4 degrees, according to the globe model, at any given time of day, I'm supposed to be standing at a 45-degree angle on this spinning ball. But there's no up or down in space, so they say. And they believe that crap. They say that you can get into a plane at 35,000 feet, 45,000 feet, looking down, and you can post a video on your YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, whatever, saying there's no curvature. And the fact of the matter is, these globe believers will say, okay, well, you're not showing that there's any curvature, but you're not high enough to see any curvature. But these will be the same people that'll argue with you that they can see curvature because they claim that they can see boats going over the curvature while standing on the beach. You can't see it from 35,000 feet, but you can see it from the beach. And they believe it. And they believe it. They tell you about gravity and how gravity's supposed to be pulling everything towards the center of mass, but at the same time, the moon is, you know, within the same gravitational pull as all the rest of the planets that are millions of miles away from the Earth. But for some reason or another, the sun's gravitational pull isn't stronger than the Earth's gravitational pull, because the sun is so much bigger than the Earth and it's got all these planets in its orbit millions of miles away, but the sun is not stronger than the Earth's gravitational pull because the Earth can keep our moon in orbit around it. So if the sun's gravitational pull is really that strong to keep all these other planets in alignment with it, why is it not strong enough to pull our moon away? But then, on top of that, the moon is supposed to be a spherical object. The moon is actually locked into this orbital ecliptic. That's why we all only see that one side, because of tidal locking. It's actually spherical, but the way that the Earth spins and the way that the moon orbits around the Earth, we only see that one side because it's just locked in like that. That's what science tells these folks, and they believe it. These are the same people who will say that according to the globe model, thousands of miles beneath your feet, there are people walking upside down on the bottom of a spinning ball because of some imaginary force called gravity. That's still a theory. So if you dig down through the Earth, at some point, you're going to get to the core, and then you're going to be digging up and come out the other side, and then there's the sky. And they believe that crap. Hey, China. Alright, so let me see. Pothead Vegan wants to know how a compass works. Alright, so I had to have this discussion with someone very briefly as far as how compasses work on a flat Earth. Or here, not even so much how a compass works. Let's talk about how a compass works and how circumnavigation works. So, as I always have to pull out my little flat Earth model. Let me see. All right, here. We'll say that this is a boat. We'll say that this is a boat right here. Boom. I'm gonna put Joker in this little boat. So here's the thing. All right, Joker's in this boat. All right, dude from South America here. The way that a compass works is that in the center, at the North Pole, there's some source of magnetism. Some say it's Mount Meru. Some say it's Hyperborea, the Garden of Eden. We don't know because we don't really get to go there. They throw the general population off of the topic of the North Pole because, I mean, they'll say Santa Claus, and immediately people will just start thinking of some fat dude in a red suit and a bunch of midgets, little people making toys and all that, and they'll just shut it off and won't even think about it. But what happens is there's a magnetic source there, so the needle of the compass is pointing towards the center wherever you go. So I mean, if you're just bare east, and the compass needle is always going to point towards the north regardless of where you go. So just the same as circumnavigation on a flat Earth, because water lays flat. Because water lays flat, just like it would here, you can hop in your boat and go from South America. Okay, you're gonna go over here. Oh, look, I'm gonna stop over here at the U.S. We're gonna go over here at North Africa. Okay, you can circumnavigate down here to South Africa. Okay, come back down here to India, Australia, come back around here, you're in freaking Russia or some crap, wherever. There you go back, Alaska, US, and then you end up back at South America. This isn't that complicated. It's like, I had to explain this to somebody like, I had to explain it to somebody like, okay, what I want you to do is imagine being at a pool. Being at a pool, one of those above ground circular swimming pools, and you put a remote control boat in that thing. Okay? And in the center of it, put a large magnet. Put a compass attached to that boat. And then you just start driving that boat around. That compass is going to just start, it's going to point towards the magnetic center. So that's how, you know, those, hold on, you throw me off. Nordy, you would be great at doing VBS at churches to get kids educated. That'd be fun. I'd do that. You know, actually, somebody talked to me about kind of coming to California, this place in California, to do a presentation for his church. I hadn't heard anything from him. It's been about a week now, but maybe he'll get back to me, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, I'll do it. I'll go. It's all good. I appreciate that, Nordy. Yeah, I mean, props. I could go mid more props. It's easy, you know. Look, the important thing is to relay the message to where people can understand this stuff. But it's also really important, you're right, to teach the children about this stuff. You know, it's really, that's really important, because I said it a while ago, you know, when the kids figure this out, that's pretty much game over, because you're not going, nobody goes back to believing in the globe after they hit flat earth, you know. So if children figure this out, that's game over for this whole thing. So I mean, we just got to continue doing what we do, spreading the information out as best we can. So there's that. But man, this other stuff that these folks believe, what science tells them, tells all of us, but we're not buying it anymore. We got, you know, we got common sense. We know that this is all about indoctrination and having us believe in a false narrative. But I mean, some other stuff that they tell us about this whole setup is that these stars that we see up in the sky, that these are all distant suns, that the stars, some of the stars are just so bright and they're not even really there, and that these stars exploded millions of years ago, and we're just now seeing the light from these stars that exploded so many millions of years ago. And they believe it because we're told that everything in space is just, it just turns into magic. Like nothing works the same out in space as it does on Earth. Nothing. Like seriously, it's like heat doesn't work the same, light doesn't work the same, sound, they say in space nobody can hear you scream. Okay, you say so. You know, they told they want to convince us that they actually put a man on the moon, that Neil Armstrong was the first guy to step foot on the moon. But when he was taking those first steps, there was a camera set up there to record him taking the first steps on the moon. And they believe it. We can sit here and break this stuff down to them very slowly, very clearly, in a very concise manner, and they still believe this nonsense. Of course space is fake. They say that the Earth is the thing that causes the shadow on the moon. The Earth is what's causing the shadow on the moon. But the shadow on the moon, supposedly, when the moon goes through its phases, during the day we can see the moon and you can see blue sky through it. Wait, hold on. Let's go back to that whole Earth casting a shadow onto the moon. Wait, one second. If the sun is right here and the moon is over here, how exactly is the Earth casting a shadow on the moon over there? There would the Earth would have to be between the sun and the moon. And they believe it. They believe this stuff. This is simple. Come on, man. Come on. It's crazy. It's crazy. Some of the stuff that these... Look, they tell us... these people say that they can see the ISS. First off, let's look at the ISS. How did they build this thing? What, they just sent up parts and somebody, you know, what they sent up multiple rockets to build the ISS. Okay, so why is there no picture? Why is there no video of them putting the ISS together, constructing it out in space, in low Earth orbit, which is where, you know, the furthest that they can go, and has been admitted multiple times by these astronauts? They don't think about these things. You know, it's the fluoride. How did they put it together? When did they put it together? There's no video, there's no pictures. And they just say, yeah, the ISS is up there. Okay, cool. So let's say the ISS is up there. Some way or another, the ISS got up to a speed of over 17,500 miles, somewhere around there. I don't know, somewhere beyond 10 times faster than the speed of a bullet. 10 times faster than a speeding bullet. This ISS is supposed to be the size of a flipping football field. The size of a football field moving 10 times faster than a speeding bullet. And they believe it. But it's going at that speed 10 times faster than speed, 17,000 miles per hour, because they say that the ISS is constantly falling back towards the Earth. Well, if it's constantly falling back towards the Earth, what's pulling it back out into space? Is it the sun? Is it the sun's gravitational pull that's constantly pulling the ISS back out into space because it's like constantly? What? They believe. Look, we're told that air can bend around a ball. That an enclosed pressurized system can exist next to a vacuum, the infinite vacuum of space, without a physical barrier. And they believe it. So we can test that out. Anybody can test that out. Look, you can go to Office Depot, Office Max or something like that. Go to a little electronic section where they have their computer gear. Pick up one of those little cans of compressed air, okay? You lock that into like a vise, something like that, and then you take a screwdriver and a hammer, and you sit here, okay, there's pressurized air on the inside of that can, and then there's whatever. Okay, look, so what happens, as soon as you puncture that can, the air is going to rush out. The air from the enclosed system out here in the environment is going to rush into that can. It's going to equalize. That's what happens. There has to be a physical barrier to separate a pressurized system from a vacuum. But we'll ask them, what other example of that do you have? I mean, how can we replicate that on Earth? They got nothing, but they believe it. They're told that an enclosed system can exist next to a vacuum without a physical barrier, and they believe it. That we went over this one, man. You know, a rocket can leave the Earth while the Earth is jamming through space at 67,000 miles per hour, you know, and go off to the moon 238,000 miles away, make it back there to the moon, land on the moon while the moon is orbiting around the Earth at like 2,235 miles per hour or something like that. Land these guys on here safe and sound, and then hop on the lunar module, take off, and come back to Earth while the Earth has been traveling 67,000 miles per hour this whole time. Like, y'all believe that? Like, nobody's really thinking about this stuff, man. Come on, man. Come on. Cut that crap out. There are no rules in space. Look, I thought about making a video called Space Magic, just talking about all the stuff that goes on out in space that makes absolutely no sense. It has no correlation to reality as we know it. Ridiculous. So it's just ludicrous. It's ludicrous, man. The way that this stuff works out. Man, let me see. What else? What the heck else do these folks believe? There's so much stuff. So look, while you're out here on your social media, what I was encouraging people to do, and I did this last night, me and Dre, we were having a good time with this one. Okay, this is the new hashtag. And they believe it. So whatever you can think of, whatever you would like to repeat, you can put up a meme, picture, just a statement, whatever. Some of the crazy stuff that these folks believe as far as these weird aspects of the globe that have no relation to physical reality. Just say it. Like, yo, these people believe that there are people walking upside down, thousands of miles beneath their feet, while stuck to the bottom of a spinning ball. That trillions of tons of water are sticking to the bottom of a ball because of the force of gravity, and yet bugs, insects, birds, smoke, steam, it's all stronger than gravity. Gravity's holding everything to the bottom, but on the bottom people are smoking, and the smoke just rises back up to the air, and they believe it. So write out your statement, put up your pictures, put up your memes and all that, and then use the hashtag, and they believe it. Because they make fun of us for using our common sense as far as figuring out what reality is. But this is what we have been given to navigate through this physical realm. This is what we were born with. Why would we not use our senses? Come on now. Come on. This is what we were given. This is how we're supposed to figure out how to navigate through this life. We were given our senses, and we should rely on them. That's all I'm saying. That's what keeps us connected to nature. That's what keeps us connected to each other. Hold on. Right. I'm saying. Because the apple fell from the tree. Anyway, gravity. They believe in that one. There's a lot of stuff that gravity does. There was that debate with the flat earthers versus the physicists, and they were talking about how gravity is responsible for like keeping the atmosphere tied to the earth and keeping it separated from space or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't replicate that. He went on to say that, well, the vacuum of space is kind of like a low pressure type of vacuum as opposed to a high pressure vacuum. So it just kind of phases. It just kind of phases from being a closed system to a vacuum. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in reality. That doesn't happen in nature. Okay? People have misconstrued the word simple. The word simple. Simple, they connect it to like simpleton, meaning somebody who's just basic. Like, if you look at things from a simple point of view, just a very base level perspective, like using Occam's razor, as it were. Like, the most obvious answer is probably that's probably the truth. So they've misconstrued the word simple to use it as a synonym to being dumb, daft, unintelligent, less intellectual than the other. I mean, simple doesn't mean dumb. Simple just means you're just looking at things for what it is. That's more of that word magic. They use etymology to trick us into these things. It's ridiculous. Hold on, let me see. What did Ted say? Let me see. The moon's gravity is strong enough to pull the oceans, but it can't move in a glass of water. And they believe it. I like it. That's what I'm talking about, Ted. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Hold on. FE diplomats. Nobody can hear you scream in space, but we can hear the Tesla radio. And they believe it. Gravity's still a theory. And they believe it. Newton, wrote out this whole book, and he sat there and said, "What's up, Adam?" Sat there and posited that this was all indeed just a theory. And yet, later Einstein came along with a whole idea of relativity, saying, yeah, basically what Newton said, that's all null and void for the most part. But still, people go about quoting Newton as if what he said was the gospel truth, like it's set in stone, and that's really not what it is. That's the hashtag, and they believe it. That's ridiculous. All this stuff that's going on, pseudoscience is what it is. Things that can't be proven, things that can't be repeated, duplicated, tested. It's ridiculous. Okay? Gravity. Look, I need to put these folks on mute. Okay. So that's all I wanted to share with you all. I'm about to get on with my evening, go grab me something to eat, and I don't know. I'll figure something out. Not even close to bedtime. I'm still doing that polyphasic sleep pattern, sleeping from midnight to 4. So, you know, I still got a while before bedtime. So I'm about to go ahead and go grab something to eat over here at one of my favorite spots. And that's all we got. Selective gravity. Oh, it's as selective as gravity. Yeah, I know, right? Gravity's very selective in the things that it does and does not do. That's ridiculous, but it is what it is. Okay, I wanna read your name. Okay, wait, what now? Okay, never mind. All right, everybody. Miss Tony, Nordy, Ollie, um, uh, Pothead Vegan, was it searching for truth? Shanna Hania, Frankie B is in the house. What's up, TJ Worker? All right, that was Kayla, Penny J, Aldre Smith, Ollie Rendon. I already said Ollie. Virginia, how you doing? Um, John Hardy, Maddie Mo Divine. What up? Adam Daniels, what's up? All right, everybody, you all. Miss Jones, I see you out there. All right, folks, about to cut this one off. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. I'll see you next time. Hashtag, and they believe it. Use that one. I'll see you soon. Bye.